a low species value nature system. You know what I noticed is what the problem is with each industry is involved with database solution stacking, interbranch too, and internation police shared here, like when they have treatments of the Russian spy den. And this is with them sharing how they share police, where and how our nation's agencies are recorded in collusion with and as exactly what was to the fact-cheating nature slavery of our founders, forced to theater per laws that maintain that for means to see who was gonna for a long-term breaching method, but for one that was short-term too, to keep everyone long-term fact-cheating nature as a reaction to it roles, needing to cover only understanding through live progression cover-up needs, needing to hide their actually recorded natures, the areas and states' voices of branches, inclusion with other suit and tie nations, fact-cheating nature styles, like talking about jobs and stuff like that. Meanwhile, they have worse than no legal representation, especially urban areas throughout this country, especially to describe the nature and motivations of the motivations for roles with it. You have to understand motivations for roles with the recorded crime methods against each age of fact-treatment nature in the suburbs. The same way everyone was divided and conquered to roles with it in the cities by the same minority of people. But this minority is like hundreds of people tied together, motivated to mass database illusion stacking evidence tricks and crime roles, indifference to it, interbranch, online, with Sandy Hook predators, Sandy Hook investigators and investigations in media recorded needing to cover their live progressions and roles with private police too, with database illusion stacking, roles with their prisoners and with their patients too, doctors recorded with untimely death roles setting up the context with all kind of other federal crimes with databases tied to untimely death on Trinity campus, with the same group tied to houses in my area that brought up another untimely death, that brought up some child predators, proven and recorded and confessed, tied to police, with the schools further, and with courts and with prisons, drug cliques, socially and family-wise facilitated together, and with crimes at various natures of campuses at once, at the same time and through time, to where intercity police, families, and stuff like that needed to cover up live progressions and roles, criminally foreign influence. We have doctors with men and women doctors recorded with and confessed with crime roles with child predators. See, because we had it through the Wethersifeld police with foreign families, foreign police, and foreign medical corruption, with our own recorded and confessed through time. WFSB was directed to pretend lies, fake both sides of stories with other Connecticut media and through time, and to cover up police and doctors and people with a court with online rape threats, passion crimes, needed to cover their live progressions, needed to pretend they didn't realize roles with recorded and confessed, completely recorded database crime roles in the past. So they're not letting through time, they're not letting people speak. And they're just writing other, and they're saying, but only letting really realize criminal insidiousness natures, thee who smelt it natures. We have predatory litigation nature be the only let realized voice, heard, experienced, not correlation natures, not the nature of the law. There was worse than no legal representation for the people of Hartford, Connecticut. And in relationship to what George Washington had to leave with slavery in Hartford and Wethersfield right before the last battle of the Revolutionary War, even though it was just to and as it rolls the means to his fact-cheating nature slavery, which was a fact-cheating nature slavery that had internation facilitated together database crime predators And that was with live progressions tied to that, covered up with areas, because they're sharing how they were areas maintained this way. See, now it's online maintained this way. We have the investigators and the investigations of Sandy Hook, especially if made up, especially if not. Either way, they're recorded and confessed, involved with media investigators, private too, database illusion stacking, with child predators with other campuses, with people that never had a class with me that were pretending other. I don't know if the Anthony Agman ever had a class with me. I had a class that was an algebra class. The window was facing the east. I said the wrong. In the algebra, there was a Mike Domain. There was a Mike Domain. Him and his brother. I don't know his brother's name. I think his name is Adam. Rick Fayon said that they had crime rolls with Justin Klevinskis. I don't know. I've never seen them in the same place at the same time. After they graduated, they had roles with witness fabrications with some detectives that are retired, but they're associated with the school policing and with child predators, proven and further recorded tied to them. And to town offices, the former dispatcher of the police with another guy, with crimes with his doctor, with roles with the child predators, stacking me, fake conversations about disgusting things, about my penis and stuff like that. Stacking women doctors, stacking things like that, and conversations to pretend they had conversations with you, with two Leahy families, women in the Leahy family. I don't know. She uses another name too, because they're with rackets like that. They forced me into after they were already recorded with the rape threats, and with real estate crimes demonstrated involved, and recorded and confessed involved. They involve my houses and drug cliques in my area with the kids through time. Now involved with it as men and women involved with the ones who were already involved with it through time, because we have interbranch foreign police medical corruption juxtaposed with military families with this in Wethersfield, Connecticut. And what shows this is that they're not allowing, since I was a kid, they wouldn't put anything in writing. They only put charges and they admit to shifting, admit and threaten, recorded roles, switching, attaching me to fake conversations and relationships to people they use for evidence crimes. Illusion stacking. They pretend things recorded that weren't recorded to hide child predators, to hide their roles with untimely death confessions from strangers they had involved with witness fabrications growing up, with database crime roles growing up, illusions. But when they can't put anything into paper, so they can't do it now. So they told the media to pretend other. They told the media behind my back to fake both sides of stories, to attach me to fake conversations and relationships to medical doctors as a child that never were. Pretending I had a psychiatrist. I never had a psychiatrist as a child. Pretending I had conversations with medical doctors from my town sick with the kids recorded, with child predators, federal crime roles with child predators, ones with courts, attaching me to fake conversations just because they had me in their presence as an excuse to just write lies with others. And with foreign police, also recorded and confessed involved with the Homeland, Wethersfield interbranch corruption, tied to the judicial branch offices, to Town Line Mobile, through time, internation, with medical corruption, drug rolls, with the kids with investigators and stuff like that. And what they have with these, with the Hills, also with the Hill, with the Samuel Dix house, recorded and confessed, involved with weird behavior, with the people that were recorded harassing me, slandering me, admitting, shifting things, pretend they're trying to bother me, a stranger to them, recorded and confessed, involved with the rest of the child predators, proven recorded further and confessed further with the police in my area, also tied to the intercity ones. Mike Levine, I never had anything to do with. I just know what his face looks like. He recorded and confessed involved with other police forms. A lot of them with Stop and Shop, with a brother who was a manager there, tied to one of the sex offenders on the sex registry, real or made up. That was on and further recorded and confessed involved with the further and recorded and confessed child predators. They're not letting me get the names because it's tied to a Dylan and to his family with police crimes. Also recorded and confessed by people tied to him with a Lena's Pizza on Park Street, and a guy who has like his wife, and like they had a party, like her other boyfriends and stuff were all out there, like, and they pretended she was someone else to get us to go there. In a row, because they said they were getting married or whatever. I don't think that was. I guess they really got married, but in other words, I don't know the names of her other husbands, but at least one of them was recorded and confessed involved with on and off-campus roles with database crimes, with CCSU recorded, with investigators private and formal on and off campuses with them, and with roles with a girl he was not supposed to be with per the order of a judge, that they kept violating that judge's order. Also, and tied to their roles with confessions with on off campus, interbranch police crime roles, with court police, and with evidence crime roles with the police were her inclusion, and with the private police, recorded stacking, sequence shifts, evidence against people, with crime roles with the internation and foreign police here, and rackets and cliques with the policing of prisons, roles with database crimes with that, cover up live aggressions. We had water leak here today. What shows this are the sequence shifts, but we can't get anyone to put anything in writing. There's an Enzo Fienza and others, also men and women, recorded and confessed involved with crimes with people associated with the judicial branch office and with houses in that area. There was recently a shooting there. There's a house that I went to one time that was recorded and confessed involved with one of the people in my area, recorded and confessed with the relatives involved with the further child predators, recorded and confessed further, associated with the schools. The police with rape threats before they arrested me for trying to report them with rape threats on kids in the school that they still hid from them. A Christine Tardet is recorded and confessed involved with sexual crime roles in the form of evidence crimes with the predators against me, attached me and others to fake conversations and the database illusion stacking roles with investigators recorded and confessed involved with crimes with the court, in the court, and with the jail. Also recorded and confessed with online Facebook crime roles. Wethersfield police blocking my Facebook posts because they have roles with child predators who they were child predators against when they were growing up, who are police now, through drug crime roles like this. Per them, with like what is called steroids and like other kind of overt drug crime roles and other kinds of natures of drug crime roles. Also associated with houses with Two Rod Highway, Hang Dog Lane, associated with interbranch corruption, court, police, and doctors, medical corruption. Also, Phil Collo was recorded and confessed. My mother told him she didn't want to do business with him one time. He went there and said he was a friend of mine. He's a relative of Ray Collo, who has other relatives that also were pretending to be. They knew me and had conversations with me in the past. I never had anything to do with Ray Collo, cousin, and his friends in my age group in the area. The whole time I was in high school, I've seen Ray before, and I only do them through conversations and confessions and demonstration of roles with this, and sequentially. I didn't hang. Joe DeMora was a police officer involved. He's also recorded and confessed involved with medical corruption with investigators with the kids down the street through time. Also, a D. Simone was recorded and confessed involved with crimes with people tied to a guy named Britt, or he used the name Britt, tied to Hartford Hospital. And he's a black guy, and those are black people and a black doctor, recorded with database crime roles. I never had a conversation with him. I was trying to have one with him. One of the recorded child predators attached to the mother of one with the police and fire, proven on the sex offender registry, further recorded and confessed, because they have untimely deaths. And the same clique was involved with database illusion stacking with on-off campuses, positions, and in conjunction with Wethersfield police, has been criminal through time. Also, Ray Close is the cousin of Phil Close. They moved into a house that used to be reportedly the former police chief's girlfriend, and she had a daughter. He used to try to kill a little kid in the area. My sister, she got saved. Then the dog died, whatever. She moved out. They moved in, and then I never had a class with him. But the only exception, they had a middle school class. Also recorded and confessed to with KKK crimes. Also recorded and confessed to with the black doctor. Also recorded and confessed with other doctors with crimes with the rest of the child predators recorded and confessed. They just attach people to fake conversations, fake past relationships to them. Rick Shumfayon told me, made confessions about this too. That he was the director, in other words, and a John Maiano, because I never hung around with them. Then after they graduated high school, the whole time in high school, I never hung around with them one time. After they graduated, I had to stay back because of a class too, also recorded and tied to people involved with drugs and with database crimes, with interbranch, like a Mike Pandolf, people that live next to the state prison building, Tom DiCiaccio, Ray Cololo, and his cousin is one by Bob Chase. I don't know, but he broke rules too. See, no one put anything in writing. He confessed crime roles with others too, involved with a Christine and with a Phil Cololo, with the cops and with the courts and with the actors with the courts, criminal with the kids, and with judges. I had to write a complaint against Judge Smith when I was a kid because he was yelling out, we're supposed to be for arraignment. They had someone up at near him. I was in the audience. I didn't know what he was talking about. He said, "This is your fault." So I never got to know those kids' names, and I never had classes with them. They directed they're directing fake sides with crimes with areas too. I had to go to a deposition one time because a Mike Pandolf and some other kids, a Jay and some girl in a car, were in a racket together with making fake sides with the court police and with regular Wethersfield police with the crimes with the kids, with all kind of crap. And someone threw a bottle at the girl or whatever like that, and she sued them for that. I don't know her name to this day. So they make it look like they follow the rules, but they're never following the rules. Because they also were saying people recorded with database crimes when I filmed them dealing drugs through the police forms, families, and through a judge's family, recording and confessed involved with his extended family brothers have database crime rules, illusion crime rules, verbal federal crime rules with police forms, like a Delafiero family, also recorded and confessed on off-campus Trinity College corruption. And with and as one's tied to CCSU. Also, Chris Walters and others recorded and confessed involved crime roles with Charlie Bowes and with his sister with a Old Town Cafe, and with a Club Blue, tied to people with the Two Rod Highway, and with the confessions tied to like roles with evidence crimes with murder spots tied to it, like there's a serial killer tied to their body, like a bunch of people that have relations to the spots that worked before it, all with connections to my town, but they don't even understand it, but through live progression cover of me, so they don't put anything in writing, and they're telling women and girls to forget the past because they're facilitating crimes through people, like roles with it. That's how they have doctors recorded motivated to crime roles with child predators that are their patients, and are the investigators with Hartford Hospital also recorded and confessed involved with forging names and with witness fabrications with the Trade Center. See, we have internation police here. There's also Russian families recorded and confessed involved with the database crime with these actors. Also recorded and confessed with federal crimes associated with the area of Samuel Dick's house, with people pretending to tied to my neighbors not as their relatives too, pretending they had relationships to me in the past. Joshua Julian also recorded and confessed involved with crimes with Wethersfield police, recorded and confessed with the Facebook page of their own Facebook page and with the Facebook page of Highcrest School. And that's with child predators proven and further recorded and confessed with the Wethersfield police. They also recorded and confessed roles with a Scalora family. Also recorded and confessed directly to pretend illusions for people to pretend they knew me. Like one time he tried to get me arrested in a little burger place, you know. And it was like a little skinny kid with like braces and stuff like that. But then they have all these cops and stuff like that. Like, in other words, they have like, you know, the ones that comes with the weapons, the spray and stuff like that. These are little rackets. They'll steal from you. We have bad people in the school. The Phil Close also further recorded and confessed with the rest of the child predators with the proven and further recorded and confessed ties to the child campuses. You see what I'm saying? Get me a response in paper. Because the police knew that they have online recorded and confessed rape threats before this. Then they sequence shifted to show how many times the guy called my house back. The guy with the recorded and sequence shifts and confessions regarding the rest of the child predators. And that's one that's in jail now. Reportedly arrested for taking pictures of kids. But you don't even know if that was true because he recorded and confessed the demonstrations of roles with investigators, with others already recorded and confessed involved with child predators, like the Mike Levine and two Joe DeMorals and women recorded and confessed involved with rape stuff, involved with like sexual circles with them through time. Also recorded and confessed with their roles with a Dillard family and with his partners' ties down the road, with other natures of police and military families. Recorded and confessed with federal crime roles with evidences tied to body dumping spots, like to the body dumping spot with Billy Grasso. Kathy Tanzi was recorded and confessed, recorded online, pretending she had a conversation with me about the CIA. I haven't had anything to do with her my whole life. Only like, you know, and every exception they have they set up, you know. But anyways, the person across the street from her too has confessions and recorded involvement with the body dumping spot. His business was right there with the body dumping spot. Billy Grasso also recorded and confessed with men and women to make about their roles with crimes with kids, with investigators, and with they said Montanari is a Wethersfield, you know, and we have an interbranch, also a Gold family. I never had anything to do with. They had little rackets with database tricks when I was a kid, and that was recorded and confessed by them non-verbally and verbally and other ways tied to mail frauds, crimes, and to an IO family who said he, you know, who communicated they had database crime rules with them tied to that, because they're not letting me correct their roles with what they use the database crime rules. I mean the mail fraud, they put my name on that dude's mailbox, and I didn't even know he was in that place, and they pretended I knew that, and it was associated with my past neighbor here at another place I was at. I didn't know he was over there too. He got arrested for doing larceny stuff with the police and stuff. Also recorded and confessed involved. They hurt women and stuff like that. But they're involved with them. They're sharing them with other partners involved with UPS, arrested selling drugs and stuff like that. But they share them with those people for witness fabrication roles, for crime roles and cases. Like they weren't like recorded and confessed involved with Lena's Pizza, and the people who confessed. You know, they also have people with the name Alicia, a bunch of Alicias that are recorded and confessed with that name used criminally, where they share the names, and like with a Maggie associated with Lena's Pizza on Park Street. tricking us to go into their presence so they can pretend they know us. You know what I'm saying? And then they have to hide all those confessions and people that they directed us to that confessed it and have recorded crime rolls with court police and with court actors and with overt child predators and with federal criminals and with evidence crime rolls unrealized in databases and with cases passed and coming. Because the Attorney General is going to have to get it too, because these are people also recorded and confessed involved with private other natures of police with the WFSB, Fox CT, and with the area around it. There's a Mulcahy family. I never had a conversation with them in my life. They're recorded and confessed involved with crimes with Rick Chamfaillon and with two the Main brothers and with a Brian Silver. I never had a conversation with him in my life. I saw him. He was recorded and confessed tied to the investigators who with the online rape threats and with the sequence shifts to hide that and not letting that reported. They put me in prison for trying to report that. I didn't even get to say it because they didn't let me tell about the confessions that the guy made. I called them up because of the untimely deaths and the other natures of child abuse. Then I found out the worst ones tied to it. You see what I'm saying? It's worse. And this is also with a Leahy family. Pretend they had conversations with me through time, forging doctors' names. With Wethersfield police forging names. Pretending passions against me because they can't put anything in writing because they already have too many federal crimes stacked now. They have crimes with the MPO Floyd that are trade center crimes, with the Eastern States Drug Narcotics Task Force, drug crime rolls with kids, with child predators, evidence crime rolls, federal crime rolls stacked, MPO Floyd. Also, Justice Klavinskis and his wife. What's your wife's name? Justice Klavinskis. Lucinda. She's recorded and confessed involved too, with database crime rolls with the kids, using their kids for that. That's what they implied after what they confessed and recorded involved with too, tied to Samuel Dick's house. And when Tom Peruta which is a Russian family. I don't know if they're Homeland or what. If they're foreign police, what? There's also a woman Russian lady associated with Hartford Hospital drug crimes, with the child predators, and with the men and women sticking nasty things, pretending they had conversation with me and women in databases. Fake conversations about Saudi Arabia too, recorded and confessed with their roles through time with West Farms Mall near the reported body dumping spot, the child predator of the serial killer. Real or made up, that guy recorded with evidence crime rolls with the courts that put him away, with the prison that put him away before he was there. His doctor was recorded with online sex crime roll. It wasn't arrested for it, but it was recorded. The guy looked just like him. I'm sure it's him because the guy said he's a doctor. And that's where they have the other guy, the torturing now, probably because he tried to make the confession to me about the other investigators that were manipulating him to pretend things about me, because they're probably using their own kids. I don't know if that guy Brian Silver has a kid, but he's also recorded and confessed involved with crimes with and also tied to people recorded and confessed involved with crimes that they also said was tied to a scuba shack in Rocky Hill. And with the court, and I saw with my eyes that he was. And I saw in the past that he was connected to related federal criminals, even though they're uncharged, because they have federal crime acts recorded that they're not letting be reported. Also, FBI agents and their family members, other agents, they tied me to fake conversations, the Leahy family forging names. That's also tied to the Kathy Tansey pretending I had conversations about that. The CIA on Facebook. With Sal Fasilio across the street from him are the people who made the confessions about their roles, the fans of with all kinds of bad things with children and stuff like that. Tried to report this. Crimes with the same New Britain court, with the judicial branch offices, with others. Another guy I don't know the name of. He was in my grade, also confessed and recorded involved with crimes with people with Two-Route Highway. With the child predators, with Phil Claw too, also recorded and confessed tied to it. Victorian house on Two Rail Highway. I don't know. Does anyone know the name of those people there? And how are we going to get see what they're doing with the sequence shifts is they're not letting that reported, and then they're writing other and databases, and they're making the courts use them as torture, and worse, with child predators through time. We have to get something on writing here, and we're going to need federal stewardship of our police, and we're going to need who wants to pretend tricks behind the back. We're going to have to put them on online, so I could demonstrate to you little criminal. We have Sandy Hook investigators recorded making mistakes with evidences on purpose. We have evidence as predators. We have evidence as crime natures not reported, and that's a problem because they're making fights with people and using violence and using chemicals and drugs, leaving trails of untimely deaths tied to their little racket natures.